Hello, 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 beautiful family in the light. Let's raise our tea to our Friday tea time with me and Michael. So much love. We're going to wait for you till you grab your tea and sit down and join us. Happy, happy Venus Friday.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are around the world. We're very happy you are here with us today to enjoy just a beautiful week of wonderful celebrations, heart-centered conversations, and just energies that we're so grateful to share.
Yeah, so let's just, hi Demetrius, thank you so much. If you're joining in, please drop a little hello to us. We'd love to have you. Demetrius, I hope you have your tea. Oh, hello, sister Fiorella. So much love. Happy Venus Friday. Thank you. We're sharing our diamond heart with you today. And hi, Lisa. I know your cat is joining. So much love to your cat also. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for joining. I hope you have your tea. First and most, Michael, let's just get down to business. How do you like this tea?
I like it. I think I need a little more honey.
Really? I put no honey in it.
I know.
Okay, do you want honey in it? Do you want me in there?
Were you replacing honey as in honey?
But what about the scent?
It's good. It's very aromatic.
Isn't it?
Yeah. But I can taste a little sweetness. I don't have to go for the full.
It has some. So, as you're joining it, let us just take a moment, grab your tea, breathe the space, bring your face closer to it, and just breathe in. Breathe in the aroma of Mother Nature from your tea. Bring in the wisdom of the tea leaves and the herbs that have created this incredible blend, this alchemical blend, huh? And that scent, let it really seep in there. Even though my nostrils are still a little bit clogged, not so much, but I can scent it. I can really scent it. And the art of just breathing with tea, feeling the wisdom of the tea. There's a meditation I used to teach Michael that was, I've taught so many different meditations, but this one was with tea meditation specifically, because to be able to get to the wisdom of just the tea leaves, like the way the leaves have grown and they've received all that spectrum of the sun, and the way they've set with it to get mature enough so that they create the aroma. There's a whole process in the art of tea. And if you can just, my ears are ringing like crazy.
From the tea?
Right now messages are coming in.
Okay. We didn't put anything funky in the tea. It's a normal tea, so.
Yeah. No, but of course. But look, so Lisa's there. Yeah. Oh, Daryl's on your lap. Thank you. So we have Lisa here, whose cat is somewhere every time we get on, he watches. So it's very, very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love your message. The beauty of the soul is constant, continuous, and endless.
It sure is.
Thank you for sharing your messages on tea bags. It's always beautiful when we can have those messages as we had last week. This is more of a raw tea, but
loose leaf tea. Thank you so much. If your tea has a message, post it. So here we are, Venus Friday. We have the Fig Newton cookies, the organic ones. These are the organic ones, right?
I mean, they're from Trader Joe's, so they're healthy.
They smell really good. The sense of smell. What is, I'm so grateful you joining, taking just time in this middle of the day. Let us have some tea and talk, because our days are really busy. And we go through so much. We've been going through so much ascension symptoms, transformation, layers and layers. It seems like the ascension journey has been for years. And it seems like between gateways and solar flares and magnetic flares and downloads and uploads, like new moons and, eclipses and full moons, it just more and more comes in and more light is expanding through us. And I know sometimes we just want to have a little break and just have an authentic talk with each other. And I feel this Friday we can just relax back and feel the divine presence inside and just talk, really talk real. And just where we are. And I'm so grateful you're taking time. This is a part of our self-love, the higher love, to serve the service to self so we can be service to others, and just taking a little time and just sharing. And so here we are sharing. There's so much to share this weekend. And I want to share what's in here inside of me, because it was 2 years ago this particular weekend that this day particularly, it was 11/11/2016, that my girlfriend Julia, who had just come back from Egypt, she had flown in this weekend because there was a big group we had to meet with Reverend Hood, who's a physical medium. So I put one big group together, and last minute there was an emergency with his beloved, so everything was canceled. And so as a result, Julia still had come and stayed. Reverend Anna Jones had come in, and Friday 2 years ago this day, first in the morning for 11/11, Julie and I went to the river, and I received message from Council of Light coming in, channeled in, that gave a specific instruction to Julia what she needs to bring her in for the gathering that we had at Bonita's Wellness Center. And also Reverend Anna Jones, specifically, here's a message coming in. Reverend Anna Jones worked with the Platinum Ray with the whales, as Julia had to anchor the energy from Egypt here, and I was working with the Stargate. They were just invited to take part, and it was the first time that I'd gone publicly showing what takes place in a Stargate. And there's certain corridors that we have to travel through, and I remember there were 55 people in a tiny space like ours in our living room, that people had come, and it was so powerful what took place. And the next day I had my girlfriend gather, because we didn't have Reverend Hoyt's circle, and my girlfriend Safi, who had met 12 years earlier and had been in touch after somehow we had lost touch, and she reached out. She's like, I just feel I need to connect with you. So she came over. I hadn't seen her. She met everybody else. And then the next day she was performing her service, and that's where Michael met her.
At the Spiritual Center of Living in Reicherstown, where I just got back from Bali on a very powerful spiritual journey, just at becoming initiated in my final rites of shamanism. And here Safi comes in her full, beautiful, energetic realm, hitting the drum, feeling this vibration, and immediately just seeing a soul sister that I know I had to connect with. And afterwards, she spoke to me, gave her card. Somehow I lost, and then emailed me and said that there is going to be a Galactic Shamanic vibrational gathering in Baltimore, which I was like, wow.
On that Wednesday.
Which was very powerful, because
and that's what I was facilitating.
Yeah, Tony was facilitating. She's like, I have to introduce you to a friend, and it was just amazing to come back from Bali and just in the Maryland, Baltimore metropolitan area to hear Shamanic, Galactic, and
Starseed, all of that.
In which I was at the moment of transition, of not knowing how to go back to Mexico and close my business, stepping into the next phase of my life, and just sleeping in my backyard in a tent each day to step away from my father's and mother's chaotic post-stroke rehabilitation, and just praying every day to the universe and talking to God, like, okay, just show me where I'm supposed to go next. Allow me to go. And it was interesting because it was right during the super full moon.
It was the super full. So the full moon, so that Sunday, the next day, Monday, which we did this kind of Monday, was the super full moon. So it's just amazing, because this is all 2 years ago before I met Michael, because I met Michael next week, Wednesday would be 2 years ago we met.
Well, next Friday.
I mean, but the date, but the Wednesday is the when we met. And I had my East Coast tour. So what's interesting that the Monday, which was a super full moon, Reverend Anna Jones then had advents of service that whole weekend. Reverend Anna Jones had her big event with Archangel Michael. And I remember I did the most powerful Archangel Michael prayer and the burning ceremony, which again Bonita had come to. We were all together. So there's this energy 2 years ago.
And I remember that night, my mother and I, we actually bought that night a huge outdoor fire pit in honor to do a burning celebration just between me and her, to release what was going on with my father at the time, to let go of the things that was preventing me from my next stage, and to really honor the super full moon, which I felt was this just transitional way to really release what was going to open up into meeting you a couple of days later.
But it was interesting. It was so interesting. So this weekend is so powerful because for those of you that may not know, that week I was leaving on Wednesday morning for my East Coast tour. So Wednesday, I was supposed to be Wednesday night, Baltimore, doing Galactic Shamanic Sound Medicine. Thursday, I was going to be in New Jersey. Friday, I was at an art gallery in downtown in New York City. And then Saturday, Long Island with Conchetta, who we had been Facebook friends, but she really wanted me to come. But the whole thing fell apart, except that Wednesday that I'd never taught in Baltimore. And I met Michael, I met Kim, I met David Goodenough, I met Modesty, her mother, so it's Z. And so it's just a bunch of people that same night. So what's interesting right now is this weekend, it's amazing. This weekend, here Sunday in our living space, I have the last official. This weekend is so powerful. Like the last official, working with Stargate. And then in the midst of offering channeling with the masters, like really putting myself there and really monitoring who's coming, screening who's coming, because it is in our own living space. And this one means so much to me because I'm retiring after this from working with the official portals and stargates. And what most people don't understand, Michael, is that people who work at this realm are so misunderstood, judged, not just embraced, honored, because it's so multidimensional. It's at such a different level. I've been a gatekeeper for both earthly realm as well as the heavenly realm for a number of years. Most people have no idea how to travel through the corridors, where they have to go to even wait at when the Stargate opens, when the stream coming in. This weekend is the triple gateway, the triple 1111. It's so powerful. And it goes back to 7 years ago when 1111 happened, 111111, and which is the 111111. It was the launch. I was at I Can Do It conference, I Can Do It festival at the Hay House in Tampa. And that's where Michelle, she was my publicist, one of my best friends. And my book was launched for the day I became a superhero. So 7 years later, here we are. I'm retiring from this, but retiring working with that level of planetary work. Somehow I was given access how to work with the Stargate and open it up. And there's a lot of transformation of sounds that come in, and I have to open myself. Myself becomes an actual gateway where these lights are able to come in. And there's such a relief. It's incredible to share it with you. Here we are 2 years later. Reverend Anna Jones will be coming to our house on Monday and tomorrow. And then you and her will be, it's all around Archangel Michael. I mean, the energy of Archangel Michael in our lives has been huge. Your name is Michael. Archangel Michael came through me to talk to you about your healing. Like there's such true magic. And this weekend, I couldn't be more grateful that we get to share this space for those who feel called to be with us, and how powerful it is. I wish I could live stream it, but I can't because the frequency is too high and I needed to be in that quiet space. So this comes in, and then moving to the next phase of life. I just want to really acknowledge the people that have been part of this, the energy. There's an energy that brings us on this specific frequency here in Washington, D.C. What has to be anchored? And this one, for most that don't know, on Sunday, as the gateway starts really opening up today, and it goes to Tuesday, but the peak of it is at 11 a.m. on Sunday, and then also the 11 p.m. So there's that window period between the 11 a.m., 11 p.m. And it's a triple gate. And this triple gate, what happened? I think the live stream may have, okay. And the triple, and Michael, you can monitor this. The triple gate is a gateway. There's a lot more. I'll be talking about it on Sunday. But this triple gate is an opening, which is the gateway within you, where truly we talk about the mind, body, and soul in unity. There's a triple flame. And all these three gateways open up into the oneness, merging all the fields of oneness. It's the most powerful expression of the divine love, the cosmic love, the Christed cosmic love that is able to blast and expand with it. I'm going to go deeply into it on Sunday, what this is. But wherever you are, there's Anrita Melchizedek has an online event. My friend Claudia, they have one in person in Miami. There are many people.
Meditation.
There's mass meditation. Wherever you are, participate, and even put on a candle, be with yourself, and really dive in this space. There's a frequency of love that is pouring in from the center of the galactic sun, and it's coming in to come in to align us within the same frequency. Where it couldn't be more powerful, and it's amazing that I met you 2 years ago within this gateway. I mean, it's extraordinarily incredible, and the other ones that we also met that we feel so close to, and what took place. And
one thing to add to that is during this time period that Honey so elegantly spoke of, is really to remind yourself to be gentle, to be soft, to give compassion, to give love to yourself, because we know not only are we going through some beautiful transformations on all levels that are.
But speak to that transformation, Michael.
But before speaking the depth of it, going to just the nourishment of ourselves, because one thing that I'm just very aware of is when these powerful gateways come through, when there's these moments of full moon, when there's just very powerful moments, these are the times where we are really getting hit hard in different areas of our own growth. And a lot of times we can mentally analyze it, we can judge it, but I really feel the most important thing is to be soft and loving to yourself as you go through it, so that we don't beat ourselves up or we don't personalize it, because many are going through sickness, they're going through throat, they're going through head, they're going through so many things that the mind can easily judge it as a flu or something that it's much more serious, when really our body is being updated. It's being really brought into a higher transformation. So the message that I really want to put forward is how loving, how soft, and how just to give yourself the permission to be okay what's moving through versus resisting it, because we know we're being cleansed, we're being purged, and our higher self is being pressed outwardly through it. That's the transformation that I see, is the areas that no longer serve us, the pieces that need to be shown and exposed, as I said yesterday on the live stream, to be seen and to allow ourselves to come into something that beyond our mind we can actually see. Our bigger portion, the grandest element of ourselves is moving forward. And for that to come through, literally our part of my French, our shit needs to be shown. Our levels of energy need to
shit
be expressed.
has to be shed.
Yeah.
The shit is shedding, literally. Yeah. And I'm so glad, Michael, you said that, because like Demetrius, you talked about you going through now the fever and all of that. I'm very aware, those of us who are in our crystalline form, we are being massively blasted by these rays of light, and we are going through there's some of us that go through it front. This has been for me several years. There are a few of us in the front line. We get hit, smacked by it first, and then we go through it. So these 3 weeks, I'm very aware of the massive purging, purification. Interestingly enough, my girlfriend Cindy, my girlfriend Stellar, Valerie, we've been exchanging, my God, like what we went through. But of course, because we have to handle this gateway this weekend, to be able to handle it means to be able to have the frequency, our template ready enough for this purging of pouring of the stream coming in, so it can be shared easily. And then so that means, like, when I felt that sword in the center of my chest, that grief, that when you pulled it out, is the grief from all of us we're releasing, and that's what we feel, the oneness. We're part of one. So that's what it is. And also within this this incredible sensitivity, we're also getting all the dark in everywhere, wherever is our sensitivity, boom, coming in. Like this week for us, couple of things we got hit with, and especially we spoke about it, with even a dark attempting to mess with our reputation and trash us, and all of that. And then we know this is part of it. Can we stay in the frequency? Can we live within the frequency? Can we really allow the living codes with us? And also for you, I feel it was so important, Michael, that you chose yesterday to reveal yourself, to take that incredible step of the actual action of live stream. Although it may be like, oh, so big deal, but it's huge, because to be able to stand in that place, you're communicating to the universal field of consciousness, especially dark, that I am honoring my divinity, my truth, my I am. So it sees it cannot have a power over you anymore. And it was so cute, because I was so excited, like a little, I was saying, Michael, like I felt yesterday I was the lover, I was the sister, I was the mother, I was the friend, I was the colleague, like teacher, and I was like,
speak from your heart, speak from this.
And I wanted to ask Michael, like, okay, like, it's because for those of you that may not know, it's been 2 years. Michael's been so resistant. He's really good with me on this, but for God's sakes, he's been so resistant doing this on his own. And and I'm glad you called your own shit. Me, Aquarius, I have to get comfortable, like, for God's sakes. Me and Demetrius and Michael had this conversation in London. It's like, what does it take to kick the comfort in the butt, be like, it's time, I'm doing this? So it was so beautiful, and I really wanted you to talk in that space, because you made this big mountain out of doing this, and here it was, you doing it. Like, what was happening inside? Isn't it amazing? I really wanted you to talk about that.
Well, I knew that I was so excited that my mental body had this plan, as a lot of masculine energies or mental body can come through. So there was this, like, okay, I'm just going to let it go. Then all of a sudden there was this fox that came out. I was like, wow, fox. What is the fox trying to show? Hidden. Foxes don't like to be seen.
Yeah.
Foxes can be tricky. Foxes can navigate. So I was like, I'm going to follow the fox. And of course I followed the fox down the trail and allowed it. So it shifted the whole scene of where I was going to go, and then allowed it. And so I really wanted to just bring myself into nature, feel the support, and then get on, and then just express from the heart of what it is to be seen. So immediately there was this excitement, and then all of a sudden the live stream went out. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not meant to be seen. Okay, I'll try it again. And then the mental body was like, okay, I'm on, I'm not on. And so maybe the grace, the stillness that I wanted to bring in rattled me a little, which is perfect, because it just shows when what I honor about Honey so well is when you go live, as we're doing now, when I'm with someone, it's just like this feels so nice. But then when you're by yourself, you're kind of like, okay, I'm live. Now I have to listen to what I'm saying, pay attention, and not let the mind get ahead. So I noticed there were moments I was really in it, and then all of a sudden there was like a point where it's like, Honey's like, okay, now how do you feel? What is your nerves? And so I was like speaking my truth, and then all of a sudden my mind went to the question, and then so much shifted me because I was not paying attention to my heart. I was then going my mental body thinking, okay, what is my truth? Am I feeling nervous?
Yeah.
And the mind started to go.
Because I like we talked about, I really wanted Michael to speak of what's it like, this present moment, just this moment, that moment of like it's been like this monument, right? And here it is. But like how's my body? Am I nervous? Oh my god, am I sweaty? Am I not? Like this is what's happening in me. Let's see. I'm a little bit nervous. I feel hot flash, like just very physically visceral what was happening.
It feels perfect what you said. It's like, you know how we make like an anthill or a mole out of nothing, and sometimes a lot of us, we make this big deal of something happening. And over the time of speaking with you, over the time of just what we've been experiencing, it was interesting. Once I was doing it, it didn't feel like it was all of a sudden this huge thing. It started to flow in, and it started to happen in a way that when I was done, or even as it was happening, I didn't feel like all the energy that was being built up to it. I was excited. I was celebrating. There was this great liberation.
That's what I was. That's what I was asking. I wanted to know: do you feel liberated? And when that liberation, like, and that's that application in life. We talked about it, like. How often in life we know we got to do something. Right. We put it off because we're giving our power away to a different part of us versus being very present because we've been afraid of the future of it versus the very present in that moment, right? Haven't we been constantly told the power is in the moment? When we live in the moment, we're living the truth. We're living in the now. We have access to all. And and that moment and that taste of liberation in the moment, like, wow, like this is so different than, like that moment.
So there was this great liberation. And there was also this great excitement. And sometimes like a little kid, when you're so excited, you're like, that I could also see out of excitement. Sometimes there's like a loss of consciousness. Because when you're talking so much and then you're like, what am I saying? I'm just so excited to be on camera. There's 7 people watching, and I'm in nature. And what did I just say? Am I following my train of thought? And my mental body is like, okay, you're doing good, but 20 minutes. Like, it's funny how you can be in this heart-centered moment, but then the excitement catches you off guard because you want to stay in that balanced state. And then before you know it, then the mind's overthinking of what it wants to say.
But see, isn't that interesting, Michael? When we enter that golden moment, Sri Swami Satchidananda always talk about the present moment, the golden moment. It's so vivid, it's so alive, right? And then we do get lost in that space because there's no control because it's so raw, right? And the rawness is the liberation, right? And you feel the joy, you feel all of it, and you go, like right now, nothing has been planned. We're just going, but we're being very present in this moment. Speaking of present, Mike, I can't read. Can you just see what is being said?
Let's see. Thank you for service. Massive stomach ache, hip pain. Yeah, Lisa, I know a lot of things we're moving through. A lot of our friends are going through a lot of health issues right now, which we look at as purely transformational.
Huge transformation.
Demetrius, we're always grateful for all what we're sharing. I feel like when we share things, you're like 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and you're right behind it itself right there. So we're really grateful for all that's coming forward. I think that's it right now. One thing I do want to say that I thought was very profound for yesterday. Do you know that I got a message? Thank you, Lisa Adams. That she said, a year ago she met both of us.
That's right.
And I was like, wow. What happened a year ago? A year ago was the first time I presented in DC because I've done international teaching.
Your first workshop.
Of my first workshop here in Maryland. I've done it in Mexico and the Philippines and Bali, but the workshop was living in your power. And so it felt, I giggled last night because I was like, what? Oh my gosh, this was a year later. And so it was just really profound because when I did it not only for myself, but I stepped back and thought, wow, this is not just for me. I sat in nature for a while. I'm like, this is big because this is for my fellow brothers. This is for my fellow sisters. This is for us to just really recognize that how important it is to look at a fear or look at something in a level of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
and then just really going into it, and then going through on the other side and stepping back and saying, well, was it really that big? Was it really that? I mean, it was monumental in ways that I am feeling more comfortable in front of the camera by myself, but that judgment,
Yeah.
that sense of being perfect, that sense of I gotta plan it, like all of us, we want to, like, sometimes want to perfect it. Going through it, it really gave this sense of, wow,
Yeah.
when each of us go through something big, when I go through something big, one part is me,
Yeah.
one part is for the masculine, but one part is for the whole collective to
Yeah.
keep being seen. And so I
Yeah.
thank you, honey, because I know as an Aquarius, I know I procrastinate, and I get excited, and I know I procrastinate a lot.
How about evolving, shifting the
yeah,
reality of Aquarius?
to
Just like because
evolve,
the Taurus have this thing about stubborn, but like changing
it's
the
not even
reality of it.
procrastination. I feel because Aquarius, you have air, you have water, you have land. That we Aquarius is sometimes we shoot off. That's why there's a lot of air, and I'm double air, double Aquarius. But there's so many things going on that sometimes we just have to ground ourselves
Yeah.
and stay to one thing.
Yeah.
And so I know speaking on video is one big thing, but there's been so many opportunities, and I realize when I spread myself thin, I don't quite stay focused because there may be, another opportunity to go down a different path or a different realm. So just to stay focused on what is being done, and just to keep building that drive and that ambition and that really inspiration, which I see you do on a weekly, daily basis, of how comfortable. Because I asked Honey, I said, honey, how long has this live stream been on? Because I was like thinking, as a friend told me, you can just video yourself and you can just place it in that safety mode, which we can stop, record, stop, record, stop, record. But what I loved what Honey said is like, just do it, go out and roll. And I asked her, I said, honey, how long has the live stream been around? And what did you say?
It's like a year
ago.
Maybe less.
And what I love about that is putting ourselves out there raw, out there live. We have nothing to hide.
And that's what I love. So when I started doing videos, like my first video was like 12 years ago, and oh my gosh, I was such a bitch to myself in that place. I'll frankly tell you, because I remember I set it up, like the whole display behind and all of that. And I'm a recovering OCD, like literally, like just so organized to the T. And I have to have it down perfect, like a recovering perfectionist. So I'm so much more chill now. Very chill now.
And I'm glad you said it, because as a mirror, I judge myself, put so much pressure on performing in a way that when you say this, I did feel that come up when I was on video, because it was so live that there were.
But underneath it is the desire for excellence. Like I love beauty. I love excellence, the aesthetics, the beauty, like the vibration frequency, because I experienced everything in that way. So my first video 12 years ago, I had my brother videoed it, like one after another. It was 24 takes, and I was so frustrated. I was so angry because I just didn't get it right. And for me, because I had this message, but I was really coming from a place of frustration and anger. And it was so interesting watching that. And I was just like, and there was that like you're so great in this. What the hell's wrong with you? Can't do this, and you know this. Why can't you deliver it? And but that was amazing, because that video and then uploading it, and I was like, no matter what, I'm gonna upload it. So it was all about my product line, and I wanted to please it in a perfect way, like like how I've been trained in the culture. You have to be very presentable. So breaking through those, and I was so displeased with that video, Michael, but I uploaded it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna stand up to me. If I don't stand up to me, who am I gonna stand up? Like I gotta say, there is like a little inner bully in me, and I'm gonna stand up to my own bully. And from there, I started doing video, and I got easier and easier and easier, and then pretty soon I didn't have to retake whatever it was. I uploaded it. So then I got so comfortable, because first it was, how do I look? All of this, oh my God, how do I sound? Because especially my own sound, all of that went off, whatever. And I fell in love when live stream came. I was like, this is heaven, because I was so confident in that space. Turn it on, share, because I just wanted that rawness. I love when it's raw, real, authentic. There's no difference. Like we're sitting in front of each other. There's just this, the soul is speaking with each other. There's no filter. There's nothing covering. So many of you have seen so many videos over years, like it's in craziness. The hair's like this crazy crying, like everything is there. I love raw, because when I experience raw, I experience truth. I can see right through when somebody's putting on a face, and I have no respect for it. I want the realness. I want the essence of that soul to be spoken to. So, and I can see right through it.
Isn't it beautiful that when we're in this raw moment is to honor the imperfections, to honor the parts of us that maybe we don't want to show, or maybe the elements that we catch ourselves, and we can just laugh at it, because part of it, what I realized yesterday is, sometimes I take myself too seriously. And if we take ourselves too seriously, we lose that playfulness. We lose this innocence. We lose this way of just fluid nature. And the more softer we become, then we can stop and say, well, how can I just let go and just relax into the moment? And okay, if I say something wrong, okay, accept that. If I go off on a tangent, or my mind goes, accept it. It really actually gives us the moment to accept who we are in that reality. And the more we accept ourselves, the less we're rejecting what I could have, should have done. Even though afterwards my mind wants to go back and be like, okay, what did I do? How did I look like this? Because I want to judge myself. I wanted to share. But then all the comments start coming up like, thank you. And when I judge myself, as you said so many times, like, well, how do you feel you did? Of course, I gave myself like I said very good, but when I was walking back, I'm like, I did all right. I did good. But it's also that honor of like, can I receive the higher blessing of what's happened? Because even myself, I was harder on myself, but then realized when I woke up how many people said, thank you for speaking from your heart. Thank you for doing this. And I thought, wow, I spoke from my heart, but there's so much of a deeper journey to be still and really feel the vibration, because then the purity and the truth comes forth, where it's not even thinking anymore. It's just a natural stream. And that's what I love about you, honey, is when you speak, there is this wisdom, and you're this natural conduit. It comes through streamline, and as it comes through, there's this energy that affects everyone out. And I love it, because you're even saying, okay, here it comes. You're a witness of the vibration.
And that's what it is, because I've moved into the seat of the observer in this garment. And I feel I really have so much value for live stream like this, for videos, because part of it is I was always made for those of you that may not know, I was constantly made fun of the way I spoke. Especially English was my second language when I learned. It took me a while to learn it. And then when I spoke, I always say words like wrong, or pronunciations, or what have you. But I had a group of friends that constantly made fun of me and really belittle me, and to make me feel like I was dumb or stupid, and which is very interesting to face that. And so the video, the amount of times I said words wrong, it was so beautiful to face that, and for me, be like, okay, say it this way, and then I started having really joy with, okay, so what? I say the word this way or that way. Like, till this day, like I tell Michael, turn on the candle. He laughs so much. And I'm not going to change it. Makes me comfortable.
Turn off the candle.
Turn off the candle. So, but for some people, they really, projected like the intelligence is me is off, and so, but what I felt the value of video did for me is to observe that, and to digest it and transmute it, and then to stand in my truth. The way this is spoken is not I'm the only one who will project that harshness on me. I'm the only one who truly judges me. And if that's bothering, is because I am seeing me in that reflection. And that's what video did for me. It really liberated me. And the more I did it, the more I'm comfortable. So I feel like it's very much like the first time you have sex. I really feel that first Really, I feel like, you can't go back. So there's this big deal. Oh my God, how's it going to be? What's it going to be like? Oh, like all these things. And the minute you have that experience, however the experience is, mine first time was shit, literally. And it took me a long time to heal that experience too. It's this big deal. And then that's what it is. Like, and then on top of that, the worst possible thing that could have been said to me was said to me, and it was so brutal. So I had to heal from that, because I felt just so disempowered and worthless and whatever. So point being, but what that did, then you start building on that, you start developing. So I feel like with you, Michael, yesterday, that lets you now, there's a journey of inner discovery. For me, the videos was a journey of inner discovery. How comfortable I am in my vessel. How comfortable I am. And it was the journey of from judgment towards myself to true respect and honor and pure higher self-love. It's been a journey of now 12 years. And so that's why I can be very comfortable, turn it on. And I feel when I really encourage somebody to get on there, because you think you know you. You don't know you until you're in the presence of others. And like as a public speaker, I've spoken in front of 600 people, I've spoken in front of 5 people, and I've spoken in the range. And to see yourself in that presence and that frequency, and stand up and speak, you can fake it. That a lot of motivational speakers come from that, from the mental body. And there's a whole energy when you have faced yourself and you feel it, and you're a conduit of what is spoken, and you're the observer that it moves through you. And you have to be out of the way, and you've cut all your own bullshit, your belief system, the BS, that then allows it to just come forward.
And what's so beautiful about that is we're all learning to fully express our truth to the highest level. And I personally felt yesterday, getting on camera is an expression. Do I have more to express? Of course I do. Do I have more that I'm holding? Of course.
Can you tell you have more?
Yeah, because I'm
it's like a starting point.
It's a
right?
starting point, because I know that there are moments where
Ooh.
where there's a depth where speaking 1-on-1, 2-on-2, we all know it. When we're in our groups of comfort, we can express the deepest levels. But all of a sudden, when we're in front of a camera that could reach thousands, there's all of a sudden, maybe there's an intimidating nature of like, can I speak about this subject? Am I fully in my truth of sharing that? And I find in that level of expression, when we can really take the time, even for you guys, I know it sounds weird, take the camera out, press play, and just start speaking and see what the difference is of, filming yourself and speaking into it, knowing that your, video recording doesn't have to be live, it could just be a video, and see how that is different than how you would maybe speak to your best friend or to your son or to your mother. See the difference, because for me, I understood there is this expression that wants to come out. There is this joy, there's this passion, there's this depth. But then there's also this little boy in this somewhat spiritual closet that has been condemned growing up of like, well, that's too woo-woo. Okay, don't speak about that because you're losing me. Or half the time what I've always noticed, coming off some of the most unbelievable experiences, travels, and I start speaking and people are just like this. And I sit there.
You can't share.
I can't share it. Sometimes I just sit there.
Because the energy doesn't vibrate.
Yeah.
It's blocked.
Yeah.
Blocked.
So it's that expression, and it's our own natural right to really feel what we are, because a lot of times those feelings don't get out and they block us.
Yeah. And the thing is, I feel like when we share this and we are each other's cheerleaders. So for example, thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much, Demetrius. Thank you so much for your letter, for being online. We're each other's cheerleaders. We're here to support each other. And that's what they love each other through this, to be a witness of like, and just hold each other's hand. And I feel that's really the beauty of this, truly the magnificence and the beauty of it. And the other part, Michael, what you shared was so beautiful. one of the things when I first got on the video, that video, when I looked at myself, I did not like myself. And years later, I started doing the mirror work in a group. I really had to get a mirror in front and see myself when I spoke. And when I spoke, gosh, I was so unhappy with myself. I judged myself from just everything. So much harsh judgment, so unkind, so violent towards my own self. So naturally, that was projected also. But I had underneath so much love that I wanted to share. But I feel my love was covered by the impurities of sorrows I had borrowed, of the conditioning and the programming, and also the space and the demand to make a difference, because I was coming from a um, place of anger and over what had happened to my son, and there's a victim and all of that, and yet I knew there was a hand of God, and I wanted to make a difference, but I was so crazy passionate about to make a difference, and I wanted to get it right to make the difference. So very masculine energy. And when you look at yourself in that, and then start to that you start to really see, and there's this again journey of back to love. From There's the emotional body, the water starts moving because you become a witness of how much your own water is diluted, is cluttered, is dirty, so your true divinity can fully shine. Though it wants to, it really wants to, but it just can't, because the light is bending, because there's so much debris like dirt in your water. Your water has to be purified, and your water is your emotions, but it's your own emotion that is blocking you. So that's what this gift does to you. And you will, when you find, move in that place, and you will through practice, there's a love, a reverence for that which you've always been, that starts tickling you and embracing you, and the grace, you can feel the grace of God, the grace of divine so easily move through you with all its beautiful vibration and frequency, and the emanation and the lights, and you feel like the true power of its grace. Then you're like, wow, like I'm in a garment of the most holiest garments here, and it's love. I am love radiating in form. And that's what happens. So I can only speak to that because from, again, a personal direct experience. I never say anything if it's not from a direct experience. That's what I'm asked to bring forward. And you have the opportunity to share that so we can be very real. The more real we are with each other, the more we're opening the fields of divine truth to move through all of us easily and peacefully.
And I love what you said about the water and the emotion, because I really feel that, as we know, emotion is our ability to fully express our truth.
Yeah.
We know that emotion is energy, and energy in motion. And how powerful is it that we, as humans, not spirits, we have a divine gift to express our emotions, whether good, whether bad, whether ugly, whether pretty.
Whatever.
We have that gift to express that divine gift. That's our human way of healing, is through that expression and exposure. And it's just beautiful to hear that fullness of expression, because
there's a range. There's such a range, because if you look at it, the range is all part of everything. It's all part of everything. It's moving from this duality into the oneness. That means all of that is also part of it. is no separation of that. But this is years of being able to be in a frequency field to just really where the inner cells, the inner vibratory cells, like it is the inner wisdom, it is the elder within that it's like there's that peace comes from that place because you don't create it, because it now sits in the seat of its own reflection, you know. So let me see what is said here.
So Lisa, thank you. It said it is true. It truly is the beauty in all this. You are live. Video pops up at the exact time I need that support and love, or kick in the butt for the moment in time. So let's go ahead, and I know we're in the latter part of our show. If those that have any questions that want to share, please, you're more than welcome to write something that you're going through, something that is pertinent toward this topic, something that you want to share, because obviously this is for
Sharing,
all of us
yeah.
to collect, because this is all collaborative. This is for all of us to say. So don't be shy. Feel free. What you're receiving in this moment, what is coming through, how can we be of divine
and what
assistance?
support do you need? Because I feel this, the support is important. We all need to be supported. This week for us, when we receive that hate YouTube comment, not on one, not on two, not on several of it, copy pasted, and then right away, because of previous experience, right away I knew, let's expose this, let's bring love to it. The support the Facebook family brought in extending their love was so incredible, because that was the support we needed to stand in this light of love. And whatever lies, whatever deception, whatever judgment that is projecting upon us, and really horrible accusation, and for us to sit and be like, we're gonna stand in here, we have nothing to hide, you know. And those that know us, those that feel us, those that see us, see it, and we can't convince those who are blinded by their own impurity and judgment. So
And how powerful to know that whenever this happens to any of us,
yeah,
how the biggest gift that's waiting right in our heart, that seed of love, is waiting to be utilized, because we know behind darkness, it just wants to pull you into this lower
Yeah.
vibration, in this level of love, which really the depth, the deeper part of it is the love we can give to ourselves in that moment, the support, the value, the appreciation, and the respect, because many times, we place so much before us.
That's
We place
right.
ourselves last. I spoke about this yesterday, and so much we place on how we perceive others versus how we look at
The energy
ourselves
needs
first.
to the energy needs to come back in, Michael,
Right.
you know. And I feel that the other part of this is when we say the support, but there is an action part of each of us standing up and requesting support. That's the balancing act that is coming back to harness and harmonize our true state, that we are informed, spirit informed, and we're here to expand the sight, but the light by itself cannot. It needs to, like, literally, when we hold hands, it needs to come together and make this connection, so then it gets brighter. And that's what Facebook does, that's what the videos do. It connects us, so the network of light expands, because it's multidimensional. Like right now, as we're communicating, we're all expanding together. It's indifferent from the physical creates that, the you know, space like this video on Facebook also does that. It's indifferent, but when we come together in that place.
Thank you, Gia, my dear
Hi,
soul
Gia.
sister, for the beauty of the love of my first live stream. I love you, I love you, dear, and always just appreciate everything that you bring forth, because I find, like you, like Honey, like others that put themselves forward, usually the beautiful feminine divine, which are sometimes 2 steps forward, it gives that motivation. With Demetrius, we understand that when you don't receive the support from your family or understanding, all I can say is, I speak this from myself and Honey, that sometimes, as close as we are with our family, sometimes we connect deeper in our soul family because they truly understand us. And though our family doesn't understand us or may not support us to the level, I really find that, as you know, Demetrius, when we choose the people that are our closest in our proximity of life, they are our biggest teachers, whether it's teachers of forgiveness, teachers of compassion, teachers of patience. Every time there's something that our family doesn't give us, we then have to go deeper in our own self-love to look at them, because sometimes they have never been given the love. They have not been, brought in the same way that we have. So we can only turn around and just blast them with more love.
And I feel the other part is, how long are we willing to give our power to our family in order for them to accept us? Why their acceptance is so crucial part of our sharing our truth. Why do we need their validation? And that was something I had to face with my mother, with my brother. I had to read it, and even my cousins, all of that. Like, how much I have to do it in some way to first accept it for it. And I said, no, I have one to answer to, and I will stand here. And if there is true love, at some point they'll come around. They may not fully understand me, but the love will hold us. But I feel that's where the family members are there. You outreach to soul family. That's the support. And we're not here to have our families approve us at all. It would be nice, it would be amazing, but some of us who are in the front line of ascension, we've chosen incarnation to come in, which we have no family support. If anything, we have the most dysfunctional families that we've had to come into, so that we transmute all that density so it no longer goes forward. We have to step out from that victim role of and just taking it, because you have the capacity to handle it, and you answer to no one but the divine truth that is you, the holiness that is you, that has courageously chosen to come in with those, just so that they can be that resistance, so you can stand even greater in your bright divine light.
It's as if you are the warrior standing in front of every ancestor, and you're taking on all that programming, all that conditioning, saying, no, this will stop here, because I am being called to transform in how I believe and what I take from my daily actions. And really, what I love what Ram Dass has said, your family is really your spiritual training. Go spend a couple days with your family. See how many times you get triggered. See what things are still affecting you, because any moment that we may feel enlightened or awakened, which is an everyday process, go spend some time with your family. Come back and see how much has affected you, because then you'll understand.
Then you know where you are in your ascension journey.
Because they really, if you have to laugh about it, because when you really think about our family, we were born in this preconceived story that your family conditioned the beliefs that their family conditioned. So they condition you in all these beliefs. So then as you grow up and we start to deconditionalize, then all of a sudden we're looking at our family and we're being triggered by them, but they're actually helping us deconditionalize. But then we have children that we've taught the same things that our families taught us, so then the children keep triggering us. So in one roundabout is your family is giving you the gift to upset you, because each trigger that comes out is you're looking at is, how can I look at this limited belief? How can I look at this victimization, something I may have judged or be defensive, and then step back from it and say, oh, this is just another healing in my youth, my teenage years, my adult years that's coming out to be healed.
So I'm like free from that place. And we have Thanksgiving coming up. How incredible. All those families that really bother us, it's the best. That's your test. Okay, let me see. Can I stay here? Let them say everything and everything. Can I be in the seat of my elder? Go ahead, because you know yourself, right? And that's why, again, for those of you who are just joining in, Kelly and Gia, so much love. Listen to the earlier talk we had, that the gift of video, the gift of live stream, when you're catching your own, and when you're your own observer, when you're able to catch your own BS, your own belief system, then that in which is projector no longer has power or anything over you, because you're sitting in that seat of your own deep truth, and whatever can be said. I never forget, Michael, you've heard about this. I never forget how devastated I was 3 years ago. Some of you may not know. The worst of the worst of the worst possible rumor was said about me by a couple of very close friends that I knew that went apart. I mean, it was so brutal. It was so ugly. It was so awful. I just felt crumbled. I couldn't believe such consciousness. They're pretty light beings. How could they possibly even think so ugly? So, and I talked about it. So it was said that I used my holy blood and I put it into the food and I poisoned people. Could you imagine, like Kelly, Gia, Lisa, could you imagine, like, that word coming out of you, how close we are, suddenly something like that. I remember I was so crumbled, Michael. I told you about this. I was so devastated because the shock and disbelief was so much. And like, somebody's really coming to sabotage, but how? Why? Why so cruel? And I remember I reached out to Jesus, to Yeshua, and I said, you've got to help me. I don't understand. I don't understand how can they be so cruel, so ugly, so disgusting. Like, something for holy blood that I have so much reverence for. I have taught month after month woman goddess circle and the essence sacredness of holy blood. Oh my God, like, how awful to be accused of that. And it was so interesting. I remember Yeshua said, now you can feel my shoes. You can feel my shoes. Those who cannot see, they can't see. When they're not in their truth, they will never receive you. And he said, stand up. Not everybody signed up to be where you are. And he showed me these circles in some of my videos. I've talked about it. He said, you chose to take this on and serve it. Those who are also called, but they reject it. They're blinded by the gift that you chose to honor. And they can't see you. They would rather see you sabotage than for you to shine. And I remember that so clearly. And I extended love and moved forward. I had to stand up. I was devastated. You could imagine.
And it was interesting when Honey shared this morning.
Yeah. To my son, I was sharing.
Your son, and to, I feel for all of us to recognize is anytime there is negative energy that is being brought forward, it really is a deliberate amount to withdraw or take your power away. Because beyond anything, many people either fear our power, or they're envious, or they create this blockage where even in their unconsciousness, they are trying to take your power away. And so to rise within your power and to really feel
the power is really the light, Michael, because Yeshua had shown me there's this flame inside. It's coming to knock it. So your light, because the minute it knocks it, your light drops, because your joy drops, and there's no radiant joy. Like, you can't radiate your joy, so you become dim light, and that's what happens.
In that light, in that power, what I feel within is, how do we keep our light lit? How do we stay in that feeling of empowerment? Because really, every choice, and here's the biggest one, every reaction we make, we have a choice. If it's going to empower us, or if it's going to take us into this whirlwind, downward spiral, that our attention's automatically focused on something that we're just getting pulled into it. And so it's really our test of staying in our light, staying in our love, and staying in our heart to really, what I feel to myself, step back, and look what's happening in a deeper
But
lens.
when initially happens, you can do that when you have practiced the space. When initially happens, there is that shock and devastation. But that place,
but we have that choice of reaction. Even when it happens, there's still that flip of the switch. In a reactive state, we have the ability to honor the expression and honor the ability.
It is, but I feel it depends where it's coming from. It's just some outside, okay. But when somebody's so close to you, it will have a deep impact, because if you have a heart connection, it will just slam you. The other part I want to share about this is that what's so incredible about this is that moment for me brought me right away to life of memory, where there was a group that was turned against, and then you were put at the stake, you were burned, or you were beheaded. And I remember shame, the public shame. And I remember that so clear, how many lifetimes that's been experienced to humiliate you and discredit you, and only because they cannot see you, they cannot accept you, because you don't fit into the box of the reality. And that still goes on, still to some of us still goes on, because we're living an example of a person that's absolutely refusing to accept us because it doesn't fit into the frame of their reality.
And a perfect example, what Pierre just said, to be an example, keeping your light up no matter what is the most powerful teaching you can give them, which is the absolutely most important thing, because not only are you being an example to them, to yourself, but to the higher collective, of allowing yourself to keep that light lit.
Absolutely. And the thing is, and if you do get that's a space of devastation, you face that, because there's also energy clearing. So I feel like for me, that 3 years ago, and then experiencing this is like, okay, we're going to go ahead and do it this way, because that space had cleared out of me. And again, Kelly and Gia really invite you to watch earlier, because we really talked about the power of videos and being seen, like really being seen. But are we able to see ourselves in that acceptance, in that pure reverence, in that pure honor and truth? And however our expression is, being ourselves. Like, I feel one of the things that I've continuously had over the years, being a watch, like people who were around my circle, I felt like they would sit at the seat of my literally energetic skirt and wanted to wear what I wore, wanted to put on earrings what I wore, wanted to like just speak, but they couldn't hold the energy, and just because they were drawn to it, but they couldn't. And I always encourage them, make it your own, be inspired by you, let this, because you have so much to offer. Don't be inspired by another, but bring your own through. And I feel that's the gift we can give each other. Bring your own self through. And with Michael going live, it's like, bring it. This is a powerful weekend. This is an incredible frequency of this triple gateway. Gia and Kelly, again, we talked about the gateway earlier today. There's so much in this incredible frequency that we'll be with. And we happen to also be in a place where our physical, emotional, mental, etheric, and spiritual bodies is being blasted. So blasted. So anything that's impure, that is not part, has to purge violently out of our field. Whether if you're not doing it, it's going to come out, because you have to be seen by you. It's the you. It's the real you, the I that you are, the I am, is awaiting you. That which you're seeking is seeking you and wants to come out. I love, Michael, when you talked about it. Your I am is like blasting, coming out. So it wants to like throw shit, all this shit, no more shit, because there's only what? joy and love. I just can't take
And,
anymore.
and, and it can be, thank you, Gia. It can be very intense. I love what you just wrote. I did my first live at my friend's group, and it was intense. It's great hearing that she wants me to do more, and in resistance, but I know it's time. And Gia, I will express this to you. You have such an immense amount of power of when you share, when you express, and when you come forward. And just like myself, there's this bubbling up that wants to come back. Yet it's our own blockage of just our own self perspective of what we're going to see and do. The more you keep practicing, the more you keep doing, and the more you keep listening to your friends and all the people support, you're going to look back at this and say, was it really that big of a deal? Did I really have to judge myself that hard? Did I really like have to like be so tough and critical of myself at the same time? Did I really have to just be so damn serious? Because you know, one of the biggest things that, you know, a dear brother in London told me, Garrett, who love you dearly, he told me, he's like, use your humor, connect through laughter, be through that, and G, you know, I love you. You know, when you laugh and you celebrate it and you bring it, it's like you fully allow yourself to be the trueness and the authentic level that you are. So keep doing this, and I'm inspired by all of you and showing
Let me
up
see
today.
what I totally agree. I mean, totally, and this is why we're here. We want to be able to provide that support and share this with each other. I totally agree with you, with Gia. What is Lisa said here?
Lisa says true words, and one of the hardest things to be consistent with, and to remind ourselves every day.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Truly.
And then
Demetrius, be the beacon of light and love in order to bring the darkness of love.
Absolutely. Kelly.
This is Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Tears bring up memories from many lives ago. Your words today are really reaching deep with you here. Thank you, Kelly. I know on many levels we're all connected in our past lives, and I know a lot of us we're having our coming out party right now. And we're all celebrating our tears with you, because we do feel you.
I feel you, Kelly. I know.
And it's a blessing the more we can just speak our truth and just understand that, most importantly, we're not alone. We're all here together to support each other.
And you know what I'm feeling? Maybe, Michael, we find that button here where what we can do on when we do this, we bring one of you to join us and share. So we just switch that, so that way you can interact with us also live, so we can help support her. Yeah, totally. So exactly, because I don't know how this is here, but you know, we'll figure it out. It's technical. So we're wrapping up here.
And I just want to, before Honey closes this, I just want to express just the gratitude and just the ability for all of you to support and to love and to really bring forward your joy and happiness in your daily lives. Because Honey and I, you know, we know on a bigger, this is for all of us. This is for a collective. And the more we're sharing, the more we're supporting, it just touches our heart that we are one big soul family. And as busy as we are and there's so many things happening, we really appreciate these moments of you taking the time out of Friday.
Just grateful coming for to this place.
And grateful for the love and light that you shine. And all the hugs are there awaiting Gia, and all the people that we haven't seen quite yet. They're coming very, very soon. So
thank you. And really, and I feel, Michael, what I really would love to I would love, you're on the chat right now. It's incredible. Please take a moment and comment on the YouTube after this, and just, you know, share, because when you put that energy, you also put in that energy of gratitude, and that expands. It helps others as well, because we're building this frequency of love. So
even
it's
feedback of what you would like to see. If there's
questions you have,
right? There's things that would help you guys, because
obviously and put it on there, because it really helps, you know. So let us just bring our hands and our hearts. We're in a very powerful Christed Friday Venus energy, and let me just invite us for a moment as we breathe in this blue flame into our hearts, and breathe out the pink ray. And let us again breathe in deep this blue flame of light into our hearts, this blue ray. And breathe out the pink. And one more time, deeply, deeply, breathing it from the diaphragm, this incredible blue ray of light filling our lungs, filling our essence with it. And breathing out the pink. Let us thank the grace of divine illumination of light in the center of the seat of our heart, in the seat of our soul, in the seat of our mind, in the seat of our body, in the seat of our cells, in the seat of our atoms, in the seat of our molecules, in the seat of the consciousness of that which we are. Feeling the majestic, dazzling grace of love that emanates all the way from source through all dimensional field of consciousness, trickling down like a showering waterfall into our bodies, into our aspects that may be dispersed in different realities, different universes, different lives. Let it be purified so it can be freed and unite in our monad, in the oneness of the singular flame that is only love, that is here to emanate only truth as one divine flame of illumination, of wisdom, of purification, of resurrection, of humility, of unity, of healing and manifestation in the heavenly realms that is here to be anchored in our own 144,000 grid and out of our feet on Mother Earth's 144,000. We are who we have waited for. We are the ones who we have been seeking. We are the Christed beings from pure crystalline light. And it is in our align that we shine, divine inside, so bright. Thank you for this now. Thank you, Dimitris. Thank you for your love. Thank you, Ferrera, for joining. Thank you, Lisa, and your beautiful cat for joining. Thank you, Kelly and Gia. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, myself. And those who will be touched by this video. And all of our team above and team below that hold us in this now. May we walk tall today, our heads up, our hearts free, where the divine's heartbeat has no place to be hidden, but just to beat. Love and gratitude to each of us for showing up in our tea time, in our true Christed heart, our diamond heart, and may we join with you next Friday again. And I look forward to those of you who are coming in person this Sunday. It's going to be very special. And thank you so much for sharing this video on maybe your pages and also making the comments on the video, as it will help us so we can help others. Thank you so much. Aho namaste en lakesh bonura ish. House house.